my OBS to Whatnot video actually blew up. I think it got like over 14,000 views, tons of engagement. For the most part, all positive. 2 people who said, you know, I was all over the place, and I get it. So I'm going to try to do better at that. Feedback taken. And then also, I did miss a few things, and I pay attention to the comments and the feedback. So I wanted to release this video before releasing part 2, which is coming very soon. I know a lot of people have been asking for it. So we're just going to cover a few things that I think you guys want to hear in this video. And hopefully you'll be ready for part 2. We're going to go over the review, some things that need more clarification on. I know a few of you said there were some things that were missing, need more clarity on, and then some troubleshooting, some common troubleshooting questions I get. So I took some notes here. I've been taking notes. First things first, if you did happen to download the guide, a lot of the missing stuff that I didn't put in the video, I ended up putting in the guide for that reason. But I wanted to cover that again and make sure I'm clear about it. I'm gonna just briefly go over the settings again. I did take a brief look at Whatnot. There hasn't been really any updates in regards to like the settings for OBS and all that. And I want to start right here. This is the overview page. This overview page is, all this does is basically tell you, I will fix this. All this does is basically tell you what these settings do. So then that way you kind of have an idea of what you're setting in case you see some areas maybe that you need to make adjustments or might want to make adjustments, right? But this is the actual page that's going to show you where you fill everything out at. And some key things that I did want to touch on here is going to be the video encoder. I guess I confused a few people when I started talking about if you have a dedicated GPU or a graphics card, like if you have a gaming PC. What I was trying to say is that, you know, ideally you want your graphics card to process your video encoder. And the X264, if you know you have like an RTX, you know, gaming graphics card or something like that, or, you know, GeForce RTX 4070, whatever it is, that's really the only time you need to touch that. And if you do, you would just select that to the hardware option. If you're not comfortable with it, or you're not sure exactly, then just leave it on X264. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Running Whatnot show is not like gaming Fortnite or anything. You're not going to need a ton of graphics, a video encoder, processing, and all of that. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on here is the keyframe interval. I'm not sure if well, 2 more things actually. The keyframe interval, which I'm not sure if I was maybe not clear about it, but that is something you want to leave. Just put it at 2 seconds and leave it at that. I got some questions about what to put there, which I thought I was clear on, but then also when to adjust it, which you shouldn't be adjusting it. I did say in the video that like I realized I did not have that set at one point, and that was causing my feed not to come through. And then the base resolution, the canvas, and the output. So I guess I really wasn't that clear on this. Essentially, you're more than likely not going to get that drop down option where it shows you to flip it. You need to go in and actually type it out, right? So if you're set at 1920 by 1080 and the pressing the button for first time use through the Whatnot site did not update that for you, all you have to do is just swap those 2 numbers, right? Just delete it, take it, flop it, or flip it, and you type it in manually because it's not going to come up as an option typically. And then make sure you have the 30 frames per second. So this is another thing here, the iOS camera plugin download page. So I realized that I did not provide a link for this or tell you where to go. It is just a link on the guide. I did not take into consideration that some people wouldn't actually download the guide. I'll try to leave a link maybe in the description somewhere. Going live on Whatnot, this is something that I did miss. First and foremost, we're on the show tools page, right? We got there to set up this configuration for Whatnot to connect to OBS. And so we came down here, we did our required settings if it was the first time. If not, we just popped in our WebSocket server password, and then we hit connect. You'll see that pop up like we saw in the slideshow. It says connected to OBS. From there, what you want to do is you want to open your show from this page. So you'll hit open on your page. So once that opens up, you're going to come back to this page, and right here where it says start show, you're going to click that button, and then you'll navigate back to your stream page, and your show should automatically start from there. You want to make sure you keep both of these windows open your entire stream, because if you close either one of them, there's a chance that it could get cut off, it could get delayed, it could send a black screen, whatever. It could just get messed up. If you're not seeing that show start up, there's a good chance you probably will have an error on OBS, and so you come back and check it. And I'll touch on a couple of those errors here in a minute when we go to the troubleshooting section. I just want to get through one last part here, which is the sources. I guess I know I did not do a good job explaining this stuff. So So I'm going to try to explain this. You have your scene collection up here. And what that does is save your different sources and your different scenes. All right, so think about this like this. We're at a television network or a channel studio, and we have different shows, but we still use the same equipment, the same microphones, cameras, props, all that stuff. We have, let's say, The Big Bang Theory and Friends, right? I don't know if they're on the same network. I don't care. The point is, we have these two different scene collections. One of each represents a TV show. So we're in the YouTube recording section, or we're on set for the YouTube recording section, right? TV show, whatever you want to call it. And then within that TV show, we have separate scenes, right? And within those scenes, we can use the same equipment, right? We use the same camera, we can use the same microphone, and they're all there. And so setting up these scenes is like what we're doing. It's the same with the television show, right? So I have different furniture, prop furniture, and I set it up in one room. I bring my camera and I bring my microphone and I take it to that room, and we're gonna shoot a scene in the kitchen, right? I don't know why I have furniture in the kitchen, but whatever. And so each of these would be a different room, right? And in sense of OBS, you have each of these sources here is going to be a different prop or piece of equipment. So for example here, I'm going to say for this review with Cam screen share, I have my different props and equipment in here, which include my camera. And so if I wanted to set these in pre-configured sets or scenes using the same sources, but I want them set up differently, I would create a different scene. So for example, let's say this scene is just me, right? Talking head video. But then I have this like this, I guess we'll say, and I want to share the presentation. These sources, they stack on top of each other. So right now on the list here, the window capture that I used is on top of my camera source. So you cannot see me at the moment. When I drag this on top of the stack, top of the list, you can see me now. You can't see what's under here, right? You can't see this booster box if this is the second layer. If I cut it in half, you can see half of it. What I'm gonna do is I move that underneath. I'll make it full screen. Sometimes it doesn't fit. You kind of just gotta make it fit and do your best with how you want it to be presented. Then I'll go back to my capture device and I'll shrink this down, right? And I'll put myself in the corner, right? So now I'm over here, really small and tiny, and I want to give this presentation. I can then go ahead and go through with myself in the corner. I can then switch scenes to, let's say, this one. If I were going to like talk directly to you, like, hey, get this together. For example, like if I'm doing a coaching session with somebody, with one of the members of TSU, then, and I'm saying we're having a chat like this, and I say, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your numbers for the week. Then I can go ahead and just click that, and then that would show whatever program or whatever window I wanted to show, and have my camera in the corner. And again, it's just rearranging the same sources. And so you can reuse these sources in different scenes, right? Just like a set, like a TV set. We're going to finish filming in here, and then we're going to take all our equipment, our props, and we're going to go somewhere else. So essentially the scenes are just going to be to organize your sources with different setups and different sources, and they can be shared within these different scenes, as long as it's all in the same scene collection. And I hope that analogy makes a little bit more sense. That's the main thing I wanted to get across, and really slow down and explain that, because I guess I confused a few people, and it's fair because I listened to it and I get it, right? I understand. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm trying to explain this the proper way. So that being said, I know I slowed down a lot on this. I just wanted to make sure I got that point across. Real quick, if you're serious about growing on Whatnot, I need you to hear this. I spent the last year building TSU, Trade Secrets Unlocked, a business transformation system specifically designed for live sellers who are tired of guessing, stressing, and running expensive hobbies. The official launch is soon, and you're going to get the brand new TSU Systems database, an all-inclusive, intelligent business system for tracking everything from your sales to your customer metrics. It allows you to import your Whatnot sales and automates everything, including the analytics, KPIs, P&L statements, all of it. You'll get access to workshops like growing with social media, how to brand properly, and more. You'll have access to coaching calls and a one-on-one strategy session, and you get to join our community of like-minded life sellers and entrepreneurs. You'll also get access to our TSU resource library, which has everything from step-by-step guides to books like the new one that will be released alongside the database. Numbers don't lie. the entrepreneur's guide to tracking numbers that actually matter. And if you join us for our official TSU launch September 12th, you can get access to the Founders Vault, which contains 6 premium books, will only be issued to founders, have never been released, and will never be released. The Social Media Traffic Machine, how to turn viewers into buyers, unlocking the Whatnot algorithm, the Fast Cash Flow Playbook, quick wins and systems to keep your business liquid, branding like a boss, how to build trust, loyalty, and authority on Whatnot, unlocking AI for entrepreneurs, how to turn prompts into profits, and the 6th book, From Scattered to Scale, the ADHD Entrepreneur's Guide to Getting Shit Done. Remember, the Founders Vault is limited, but everyone will get a free special gift that I've also been working on for over a year now, and you won't know what it is unless you attend the event live. Spots are limited, so use the link in the description, join TSU today, and let's start building your business the right way together. Now let's get back to the video. I did want to get onto the phone overlay. There was a lot of issues with that phone overlay. It's my fault, right? I don't make excuses, and I should have been on it a little bit more. I updated the zip file, and the link for some reason kept pushing the other one out, and I finally just deleted it from that shared folder. That's been working now. However, I did create a new one that is a little updated to the format and how the screen looks. I know this is kind of hard to see. There's a transparent one, and then somebody wanted this one so they can kind of see while they're setting up their stream, so I went ahead and created it. Essentially, it's a little updated with how the overhead thing up here works, right? So how the I can't think of what's up there, but the menu you have up there, I forgot what the hell is up here, if I'm being honest. I haven't looked at a stream from my phone in a while, but you have all the way the chat sits right here, the chat box, your bid buttons, you know, your menu and all that. So I did create this one, and the main purpose behind this is so when you're setting up your screen, because this is something huge I see all the time, is when I go into streams and the stream is great and they have great products and all that, but they're showing everything is sitting behind all the chat, and it annoys me because a lot of the times you can't even see what it is you're bidding on or you're getting. Pro tip, especially if you're selling singles and things like that, you want people to see the details on it. Try to keep it on the top half of your this should be in the link now. If not, I'm going to create a separate link specifically for this one, because a lot of people just want the overlay and not the guide. That's fair. So there'll be a different link for this as well. I'm just trying to be helpful. How to do a test stream. It's a good one. What we want to do is essentially like this, right? So I have this test stream here. Now, you would start it from here, but when you're scheduling your show, it's just going to be like, doing a private show, right? So when you schedule your show on the regular shows tab, not in the show tools from your seller hub, you're going to get everything set on your show, and then right here you will enable private mode. See how this one says disable? Because it's already enabled. It is a test stream. No one can join the stream unless you send them an invite or the link to the stream. You can go in here, you can go live. I know somebody asked about how do I test without going live. You have to really go live to get the full live experience, and so you'll make sure that it's enabled just like it says there. If it says disable private mode, then you are in private mode. You'll enable your private mode, and then from there, once you know it's enabled, just like you would start a regular show, if you're doing it from your phone or whatever, you can do it from there. But I'm assuming the point is to test it with the new OBS setup. So then you'll come back here and you'll open your test show just like that, and then you'll navigate back and you'll hit start show. What else do we got? Oh, that's a good one. Little black box here, that's going to be where our screen, right? That's where our window needs to go. Well, it's not necessarily true. For scaling wise, right? So you can see I have this really set small on the scaling, right? So if I want it that big or however, that is just your preview window. What you put in your settings for your output in your video settings, that's what's getting pushed out and that's what's getting recorded. So I can mess with all of this right here. And as long as I'm not changing the actual size, like dragging it like this or moving it around, it's not going to impact what people see. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's also a good question somebody asked me. You right click here and you say the enable preview scaling. It's specifically for preview. So if you're streaming and you want your OBS to be smaller and off to the side like I typically do, you can go ahead and scale your preview scaling. So you can zoom out, you can zoom in. There's also little plus and minus buttons down here. You can scale as small as you want, and that's not going to impact what's getting pushed out. You can see the little black box is still scaling proportionately. That's what your artboard is, right? And so that's what's going to determine what's getting pushed out. And that's set on your video and output settings. Another thing was somebody asked, which they were having trouble with, was being able to center your items or your sources, right? So they were having trouble like getting in perfect if you're just trying to align them vertically or horizontally, right? So you'll right click on it, you'll have your source selected. So I'll select my video capture device, which is my camera. I'll right click, and then you're going to hit transform. And down here you can do rotate, you can flip horizontally, vertically, whatever. You can fit the screen, stretch, and then you can center on screen. So that's going to be both horizontally and vertically. Or you can just do, let's say, vertically. It's going to bring me down to the center there. And the other one horizontally is going to move me on the x-axis, right? So this one I'll just do center to screen, and you can see it just moved my entire screen to cover as much as it can of the canvas. Essentially, that's what that is how to center your sources on the screen. So we're going to get into the troubleshooting here, answering a bunch of questions, FAQs, common issues that people had. Before I get to wrapping things up, one, I know people are going to ask, the part 2 of optimizing is getting ready to come out. I've already got the outline. I have a few things recorded for it already, but I did want input because I noticed there were some things that I didn't even think to cover in part 1. So if you guys do have questions, specific questions to optimizing your whatnot stream, just go ahead and leave a comment in the video below. If you want to jump in the TSU Discord, feel free to do that. Get in there early, I would suggest it. The TSU is going to officially be launching soon, so the Discord will officially be launched as well. Members of the TSU Discord will have early access to the new database system for whatnot sellers, which you're going to want this thing. I'm telling you, I just recorded a video. It's going to be dropping soon. So make sure you guys pay attention, look out for that. It's going to be dropping in the Discord very, very soon, probably right around the time this video drops. What questions you want or what help you want with the optimization part of the video. So I'm going to hold off on that one for about a week before recording it, finishing the recording, so I can give people time to get their questions in. And once you get your questions, I'm going to try to include all the common questions that seem to be most helpful for everybody. If you guys do get value out of this stuff and want to see more like it, please drop me a sub and a like, right? It does help the algorithm. Any engagement does. If you rather just comment and chat with me in the comments about random shit. So back to the troubleshooting and kind of FAQs. I get an error with the stream key that says, quote unquote, could not access specific channel or stream key. Let me just go ahead and run down a couple of other ones that will go to the same issue. I got the error starting, the output failed. Please check log for details or something like that. And then there's also another one that says the OBS Tools webpage has failed to connect, or the webpage has failed to connect to the OBS Tools Studio or OBS Studio, something like that. For all 3 of those scenarios or errors, this is going to be what your issue is right here, this WebSocket server. I did know a few people had issues not connecting to the WebSocket server. Do not generate the automatic password. You need to create your own password manually. You need to make sure you type a password out and copy and paste that into the whatnot page of the show tools. Even if you already did it the right way, you may need to do it again. What I like to do is I like to clear out the password and then just hit OK, and then go back into the settings and enter a new password manually. Do not generate it. Hit apply, hit OK, and then copy and paste that into the whatnot page. This is the part on the whatnot show tools page that you're actually going to paste that into after you generate that password. So again, make sure you're not using the password generator for that. You need to manually enter it. It's something weird. I don't know what it is. I didn't make the system. And if that doesn't work, make sure you create a new profile. Go to profile, hit new, and then name it whatever. Come back here, do the update profile, first time setup, and then re-enter everything again. Between the 2 of those solutions, they always resolve the problem. If you need further help beyond that, feel free again to jump on the Discord. Let me know. So what else we got? My delay. Oh, stream delays. Okay, so if you're getting a stream that's delayed, like, and I mean like delayed, it's usually going to be your internet speed, your connection, your bandwidth, or your CPU usage preset. If you have it set to the top one, bring it down to the next setting, retry. If it's still doing the same thing or it doesn't change, and if you're still having the same issue, then again, lower the setting one more time and try again. What else do we have on the list? Okay, video feed not reaching whatnot, the black screen. So I've seen that come from the keyframe interval at not being at 2 seconds. I've also seen that come from the CPU usage preset. So same kind of solution there to drop that back down. Again, that keyframe interval, the one that's supposed to be 2 seconds, make sure that's set to 2 seconds. hit OK, apply, restart the stream. And there's one more, which is this one. OBS is disconnects from whatnot. What you'll see when you experience this, which this has personally happened to me multiple times, most of the time closing down my OBS and restarting it works. If your computer boots pretty fast, I've had to restart my computer one time. This doesn't happen all the time. I mean, I've had this happen 3 times total. But the last time I had it, restarting OBS did not work. So I ended up starting a Givey. I closed my entire everything up. I restarted my computer. I reconnected. I opened the stream back up. The stream was already running, so I didn't need to hit start stream again. But I did need to, when I connected back to OBS, you have to hit that start stream button from OBS. And that worked. Because what you'll see on your computer is you'll get notifications, annoyingly, OBS disconnected from whatnot. OBS reconnecting. OBS disconnected. Your stream will be live about 5 seconds at a time. Then you get a black screen, then it reconnects, then a black screen. So it's very annoying. If you try to disconnect OBS and restart OBS, make sure the WebSocket is configured correctly, and it still doesn't work, then just go with the computer reboot. The last one is your iPhone. Troubleshooting your phone being used as a camera. I've seen several issues. Some of them are covered right here in the instructions. So the symptoms for all of these are pretty much similar, which is you'll plug your phone in, you'll hear the connection, you'll see the connection. As far as like your phone with the little lightning bolt in the battery, if your sound is on your computer, you'll hear it connect, but nothing will happen. The OBS app, the camera app for OBS will still show like looking for connection or waiting for connection. First thing to try, make sure your cable's plugged into a fast cable port. If you're using a regular USB on the connection side to your computer, make sure it's got the little blue thing on the inside of the connection piece, or the port has like 2 little like lightning bolts on it. If you have USB-C, you should already be fine. If you did accidentally hit the don't trust when you get that initial pop-up on your phone, you can try a couple things to resolve that. One being, you can try to restart your phone. If that doesn't clear it up, you restart your phone, plug it back in. If that doesn't work, then what you'll need to do is try a different port on your computer. If you have another high-speed port available, unplug it, plug it into another port. You should get the pop-up. And if that doesn't work, you can just wait a while, restart your phone, wait a while, restart your computer. Or at that point, you could just reach out to me, right? You need to be on Discord. Jump in the Discord. Discord is honestly the best way to get a hold of me. But essentially, what you'll need to do is go into your device manager, find that port, and you'll have to kind of clear the config on that port, and then restart your phone and plug it back in. And so the last one is iTunes. I don't use iTunes. I haven't for a long time. And so I had to, for those that don't know, I got hacked. I had a malicious fucking malware in my system. I was fighting it for 2 weeks, but essentially I had to rebuild my PC. I lost a lot of data, and so when I went back in, I was not able to connect my phone. Basically, if you have never used iTunes, there's a device driver that gets installed with iTunes that allows for that sync and that connection back and forth from the phone. That being said, make sure you keep an eye out for part 2. Leave your comments for what you're looking for. Keep an eye out for Discord. Keep an eye out for the video for the preview of the database that I'm going to be coming out real soon. And I really want questions that I can add to the video, because I feel like that's going to be the best way to provide the most value to everybody. Again, I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the love.